What is up, everyone, and welcome to Optimus Fantasy. It is Monday. It is week 13 of NFL football. We're just a couple of weeks away from the fantasy football playoffs, Keith. It's coming fast. It's time to get those lineups locked in. Kind of looking forward to weeks 15, 16, 17 with some of these waiver wire moves this week. But really, we're in the final push, right? Like 2 weeks to go. What's up, Charlene? Very good to see you. Yeah, we got to start looking at some of these players. Like, who are guys that you can grab and hold long term at this point, right? Like, for lineup security, for stability through the playoffs. So we're going to get into a bit of that. Obviously, we've got injuries abound again. We've got players coming back. Joe Burrow is going to be back in week 13.
Is that official?
Higgins, that is, he practiced in full today.
Okay. Cool.
They released.
Hold on. Let me get Nico a seat.
Yeah, absolutely. But the team released backup quarterback Sean McCord today. So they're trending towards opening up the roster space for Burrow. So it looks like he will play. Now, with that, though, Burrow will not have T. Higgins this week. Something to keep in mind. And we will talk about one of those Bengals receivers that will be a nice fill-in for him. But Higgins has already been ruled out for Thursday with the concussion, Keith. So he will not be an option. But Jamar Chase is back from suspension. So that'll be good for this Cincinnati offense. Let's go ahead and get into it with the quarterbacks on this week's waiver wire. The first one we're going to talk about is Bryce Young over in Carolina. He comes out of the gate this past week, has a huge game, finishes the week as QB3. His best performance of the season by far, Keith. We've been sold the Bryce Young snake oil before, though. We've seen him with a couple good performances, and we get excited about it. Is there anything to be excited about with this one? I mean, it was a 35-plus point performance, not something Bryce Young does often, and he's not really heavily rostered either. 28% rostered right now on Sleeper.
No, it's not something to get really excited about. I mean, to be honest, all these quarterbacks that we have on this list, beside Jacoby Brissett, or I think break glass in case of emergency quarterbacks.
Sure.
There is some interesting stuff with Cam Ward too. Just with the fact that he's starting to use his legs a little bit more. I try to exclusively play running quarterbacks for that reason. And I also think Jameis Winston, from the QB position probably deserves at least consideration. They were airing it out in this first game. I know that Detroit does not have the best secondary, but, Jameis can sling it, and New York's got some guys. Boy, you're lucky if you got Wendell Robinson, it looks like, moving forward.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, I mean, I think we're kind of at the same position spot at the QB position where I think Bryce, I think T-Law's on here, right? Cousins, even Bridgewater, if Baker misses time, they're all matchup dependent is what I would recommend people for waivers. Is if if it's, say you need a quarterback this week by whatever, I would be looking at their individual matchups and making that decision to where like the Jacoby Brissetts of the world. And I would even probably put Jameis in that, same boat. I would at least take a chance on filling, or at least, going after them, not worrying about the matchup, because the other great thing is why I was high on Jameis and DFS this week. The Giants' defense is terrible, and so is the Cardinals. That's a big reason why Jacoby Brissett's been so effective as a quarterback. Like, the worse your defense is, the better chance you're going to score points on a consistent basis. That's, I think, kind of what happened with Trevor Lawrence a little bit this week, right? Like, I know he threw or accounted for 3 touchdowns. I think one of them was rushing, but more than anything, they were playing an opponent that, pushed them, and that game kind of got into a sneaky shootout. But I don't trust any of those guys. Do you trust them?
Trevor Lawrence is the only one that I sort of trust on this list. Cam Ward, I don't hate Cam Ward. Kind of digging into Cam Ward, I wrote up Cam Ward in our waiver wire piece on optimusfantasy.com today, which is live now. You can check it out on the site.
You need to go check that out immediately.
There's a lot of stuff on there for your waiver wires, guys. But in looking into Cam Ward, what changed in Tennessee is getting rid of Brian Callahan and giving Mike McCoy the head coach job.
From Callahan Auto Parts.
Exactly. Callahan Auto Parts. I mean, we don't have any in Colorado, but Here's the thing.
Well, I was thinking of Tommy Boy. And that's the,
oh
and
my
that the
God,
guy
Tommy Boy. Yes, it is Callahan Auto Parts. My wife would be so disappointed in me right now. With Cam Ward, like if you look at what he's done really since McCoy took over, he's had one bad game.
That's
Chargers
a really good
in week
point.
9 before the bye. Otherwise, he's looked pretty good. 25 fantasy points last week. He was 28 of 42 for a touchdown. But what we've seen too with McCoy is he's actually become a little bit more mobile. Cam Ward has
30 yards each of the last 2 weeks. If he's going to give you 3 free points, hello.
Yep. Plus, he got a rushing touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to be using him more like that, he hasn't thrown an interception in 3 straight games now, which is a big deal for Ward. I think we're seeing an improvement overall with Ward, and it's crazy because Calvin Ridley's out. Elikeo Minor is out. They were basically running with Chimere, Dike, and Chigakonkwo and Gunnar Helm.
And tight ends, yeah.
And tight ends. That's what they had. And he was serviceable. Do I think he's going to get you 25 plus fantasy points again this season? Probably not. Like their matchups rest away. They've got Jacksonville, Cleveland, San Francisco, Kansas City, New Orleans in week 17 is a good one. I mean, if you want to roster him and hold him and you maybe need to roll him out that week, he'd be viable. I like that matchup. But otherwise, matchups are tough, but if you need a floor play, I like him. And same thing with Trevor Lawrence, man. Like, he's been better since the bye in week 8. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's something different in the water.
In fairness to him, it's his first year under a guy that is a QB whisperer. Like, Liam Cohen has a history of getting the most out of his quarterbacks. I mean, obviously he's a head coach now, but it's an offensive coordinator or QB coach. And we all believe in Lawrence, or at least most people I know do. He's been one of the guys that's been more infuriating for me because he can make any play, any throw. Like he's one of those rare quarterbacks that can do it. It just doesn't happen. He's another guy too that I'm surprised he doesn't run more because he's athletic. You just don't see a lot of it.
And that's been part of why he's been better since the bye, though, too, Keith.
20 plus in 3 or 4. Yeah.
Right. He's got 20 plus in 3 or 4. He has 3 rushing touchdowns, 9 carries, 5, 5, 5, and 5. So 24 carries over the last 4 games. That's helping his fantasy value. And then if you look at Jacksonville's schedule, they've got Tennessee in week 13, Indy in week 14, the Jets in week 15, Denver week 16 iffy, but then they get Indy again in week 17. Like these are all matchups which I think Trevor Lawrence can actually be serviceable in fantasy in 2 QB leagues.
You sold me. I mean, I think you're right. That's probably the guy you want because you got Tennessee and the Jets are 2 of the most fantasy friendly defenses there are to quarterbacks. I think JSN just caught another long pass against Tennessee just now. Breaking news. And then Indy scores so many points that again, like it, by extension, teams have to. And Indy's been really good versus the run until they met Kareem Hunt, which I still don't understand what the hell happened Sunday there, where the Chiefs were struggling throwing the ball and Kareem Hunt's running wild. When Indy has been a team that it's really difficult to run on, but you can throw on all day. Yep. But maybe it's the additions. You obviously adding Sauce Gardner. I know that they added somebody on the line as well. But I think you talked me into it. I think T-Law probably is the quarterback, even over Brissett, because I think that we're going to see with Brissett that it's got to level out at some point. It's been extremely lucky in the sense that they've been, I think, down 2 scores in every one of their last 4 games. And that just takes the run game completely out of the picture. Not to mention, hopefully you're getting Trey Benson back. Is James Conner? Somebody told me James Conner is going to return this year. Is he coming back in season?
I couldn't see that happening. No, he's been ruled out for the season.
Okay.
And this was 2 months ago.
More
he
sense.
Was ruled out.
Okay.
So,
that makes more sense.
Yeah. And I'm with you with Brissett. Like it already did level off. He's 33 of 49 yesterday, 317 yards. He only had 1 touchdown, 3 carries for 20 yards. He was sacked 6 times, which has been about normal behind this line. But yeah, I think I trust Trevor Lawrence the most. I didn't even bother writing up Brissett this week. I wrote up Lawrence and I wrote up Cam Ward. I think those are really the only 2 guys where with Cam Ward, he's a stash guy where if this progression continues, he's someone you might want to plug in week 16, week 17 in 2 QB leagues. But Trevor Lawrence is viable even in 1 QB leagues at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you have Brissett, he's the guy you
can start him this week versus Tampa. And then after that, good luck. Rams, Texans, and even my Falcons again versus the pass are pretty good. That's a rough slate and not something that I would be, if you have Brissett right now and it's a situation where you lost your quarterback, whatever, maybe you drafted Justin Fields, I don't know. I would be, considering already working to get another option because again, looking at that is just, that's definitely the two toughest defenses in the NFL right now, and the Rams and Texas back-to-back weeks after they play Tampa this week. And again, Atlanta's not somebody that you just throw all over.
Right. No, you don't throw all over Atlanta. Their defense has proved to be pretty decent. And
you run it right down their throat. That's the easiest way.
Yep. And we're going to talk about their defense here later on. Before we move on to the running back position, I want to hit this up here. We got Galaxy Pickers on YouTube. He wants to know, should he trade CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, and Quinshon Judkins for CMC and Devonta Smith? His roster right now is Jonathan Taylor, Quinshon Judkins, Woody Mark, RJ Harvey, and Bhayshul Tuten. Then he's got CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Rome Odunze, and Stephon Diggs at wide receiver. He already has a first-round bye. To get CMC to strengthen up that running back core, I probably do this. I don't hate it at all.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if the sum is worth it. Like I love having CMC, but your strength is your receivers, right? Obviously with Lamb and London, but Odunze and Diggs are guys that week to week hit or miss. And then you're adding Devonta Smith, who same deal, right? Like Devonta will have these smash games, but not week to week consistency, where Lamb and London, you're going to get 10 to 15 points if they play pretty much every week. Right. And then, again, CMC obviously is phenomenal, but Jukins is going to get so much volume. And that's really all you can ask for from a running back that is obviously not one of these studs. And don't forget Judkins' upcoming schedule. San Francisco, one of the bottom third run defense. Tennessee, one of the worst run defense in the league. Chicago, one of the worst run defense in the league. Buffalo, one of the worst run defense in the league. Pittsburgh, who they're pretty good versus the run. And then Cincy, the last week, one of the worst run defense in the league. Jukins is somebody who could end up having a monster stretch, because we know Cleveland's going to lean on the run, and their defense is good enough that I think in a lot of these games, they'll be able to keep them in it to where they can run it a ton. So I would hold. I know it's scary going in with the backs you have, but you already have Jonathan Taylor. So you already have that stud running back. I wouldn't then basically you would have two stud running backs and then pretty much nothing at receiver. And if you get a bad draw for your running backs, like say you're playing the Texans and the Browns or these defenses that to me, the receivers, it's a lot harder to prevent from doing anything, to where the running backs, no matter how good they are, they will have games that are really bad if they're facing a stout defense. And I think you can piece it together. Maybe Harvey earns a few more touches. Same for Tuten. And Woody Mark seems to be the lead back now. And I'm totally cool going with JT and Judkins rest of the year as your starters.
Yeah, you talked me into it. I'd stay away from this one. I'm with you. Makes sense. Good job, Keith. Thanks. Much appreciated.
Yeah. All right, I hope it helps Galaxy Pickers. Great team, by the way.
Yeah, really great team. And good luck in the playoffs, man. All right, let's move on to these running backs in week 13, Keith. There's a whole bevy of them. We've got Devin Neal in New Orleans is the first one on the list here. He becomes interesting simply because Alvin Kamara is questionable. We don't know if he's going to play next week. But how interesting is Devin Neal to you, really?
I'm trying to figure that out myself because I have a ton of FAAB left over in one of my oldest home leagues. It's one of my most expensive one. It's like a $250 entry. It's kind of a unique league that it's a auction, half point PPR. Tight ends get a full point. The positions are weird. You just start quarterback, running back, receiver, 3 flexes and a kicker each week. And I need help because when I'm missing London, which I was this last week, I'm really sure I don't really have a running back or receiver to start. I start 3 tight ends every week in the flex. That was my strategy. I have Kelsey, McBride, and Kittle. I don't know if he's worth it. Cause I have all this money. I want to make sure that when I go all in on somebody, it's the right guy. And I'm not sure if it's Neal. It scares me that Taysom Hill got more touches overall, or rush attempts, excuse me, than he did last week. It concerns me that Alvin Kamara, no matter how banged up, seems to at least make an appearance or start every game, it seems, these days. And I don't know if he is the answer. He's a talented, young guy, and maybe they're trying to move to, the new guys, right? Like, I guess the new three for them would be Olave, him, and obviously Tyler Shuck. But this just seems like an offense that's sort of going to be stuck in the mud rest of the season. It's what happens when you trade away some of the guys that they did. And it's tough for a running back to carry an offense like that, no matter how talented. So I understand. Like, I think if it's a, waiver priority deal, definitely go out and get him. You always want a back that has, potential to be the number one guy, especially this late in the season. If you're talking about spending free agent bucks, I can't get myself there. Would you agree with that or disagree?
Oh, I agree with you. Taysom Hill, as long as he's there, is always going to be a problem when you're missing players. You see Taysom Hill slip into these roles where he gets the volume you think a guy like Devin Neal's going to get. Plus, in general, Keith, like, I don't trust New Orleans offense. Plain and simple. Atlanta put up 16 fantasy points against him yesterday. They've got a rookie quarterback out of Louisville who's like 55 years old. Outside of that, this offense
isn't
Winky
really 2.0.
Yeah, right. This offense just isn't all that functional at this point. I like Tyler Shuck as like a back end QB2 just because volume's going to be there and they're going to be losing a lot. And that's the other thing. Devin Neal, like, how many carries can we realistically expect a running back in this offense to get? You're not going to get a ton. Some are going to go to Taysom Hill.
And they're not throwing to running backs. Kamara's had his lowest target rate of his career. So even if he was a great pass catcher, that's not really an option.
Neal's seen targets in 4 straight games. He had 7 targets yesterday with Shuck.
So there's some. So why are they not targeting Kamara then? What do you think that means?
I think that means that there has been a significant decline in his physical ability. Yeah, I just think he's declining. I think they see it. I think he's a step slower. I think his hands probably aren't as great.
7 targets is significant. Like, I was not aware of that.
Yep, 5 catches for 43 yards. So he had mild interest, but I don't trust that the volume is going to be consistent for Neal. He's a later round pick too. He was a day 3 guy.
Right.
So, there are guys on this list I like better. Blake Corum in Los Angeles. I mean, all of a sudden he's seeing volume, right? Which shouldn't be that surprising given that he was the RB1 and the QB1 for one Michigan team. It got JJ McCarthy a job. It was very nice of him. But we've had, week 7, 12 carries. Week 9 after the bye, 13 carries. Week 10, he had 13 carries. He saw 2 targets in week 11. Then he had 7 carries yesterday for 24 yards. Do I think that he's going to be a standalone guy? Absolutely not. However, if something happens to Kyren Williams, I think they trust him enough now that we're going to see volume go to him. I like him as an ad, kind of in the same way that I like Chris Rodriguez, I suppose, as an ad, just because these are guys that are going to fall into volume.
I like Rodriguez more, though. And the reason being is that he has an opportunity, if reports are correct, coming out of the bye, to take over that backfield. And I do believe, because I've seen this, he's a good running back. If he can get going, Marcus Mariota will be much better. Like, Marcus Mariota needs a running back who's going to consistently gain yards for him to be effective doing what he does. Because Mariota basically lives on play action. Yep. And I just, the thing with Corum, you're absolutely right. Obviously, if Kyren ends up getting hurt, then it's all systems go. But I do have concerns that they blew out the Bucks, on Sunday night, and he still only got 7 touches. It seems like they've kind of realized this is a pass-first offense, which is a little different for McVay, who is normally a real 50-50 kind of guy. And I think he just realized, look, I got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. I'm going to throw it to set up the run, if you will, it seems like this year. And I think Rodriguez is the guy out of the backs this week that has the best or the most upside, barring an injury.
So I would say Devin Singletary would be that guy for me because he's always going to be a threat in the red zone. Tyrone Tracy, we saw him. This pissed me off yesterday. We saw Tracy
me too, bro.
A couple of times in the red zone, and I'm just sitting there screaming at my TV, give the ball to Singletary. Like, if you're going to run it here, why are you running it with your smaller back? Put Singletary in. He's a red zone guy. I like Singletary for touchdowns. I think that he has
that's fair.
The most
so like standard leagues, particularly is what you're saying, right?
Especially in standard leagues.
And
he's
half
a guy who's going to
PPR.
score.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's going to score. Maybe not a ton, but he will score. I think he has more opportunity than Rodriguez, honestly. My issue with the Washington backfield is that we've also seen Jeremy McNichols get carries.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's going to continue to.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to be this committee. And we've seen Rodriguez like 15 carries for 79 yards in week 11 before their bye, but that was against Miami.
I mean, it's fair. The nice thing is the reports say they want to give him a chance because, obviously Bill Merritt has had a chance at being the lead back.
Yep.
And it hasn't really gone very well, at least not recently. He had a nice little stretch. I think they're going to figure out that no matter what, if they don't have Jayden Daniels, none of these guys are going to be, feasting, if you will.
Right.
But that makes a lot of sense. I do want to mention, too, I added him late, Ollie Gordon of the Dolphins. Miami needs weapons. And don't look now, their offense is starting to look pretty good. And we know that Miami is not afraid to use two backs. We saw it, even with Devon Achane his rookie season, averaging like 14 yards per carry over the first 6 weeks. Yep. Raheem Mostert was still feasting as well. And I think that if the issue has been they can't score points, I do think though Gordon is somebody to consider when you, especially look, they've got the Aints, the New Orleans Aints this week. Got the Jets, Steelers, Bucks, and Bengals in their next 5. None of those are stout run defense. Steelers are by far the best. The other 4 are terrible. And again, since they've lost Tyreek and Waller, they need other guys. And I think that the reason he's been seeing an uptick in carries is they know there's no way Devon Achane can make it the rest of the season if they're giving him the amount of touches that they have been lately. You're playing with fire.
Well, I mean, Miami's playing with fire in general. This team is
touche.
It's very they're so close to burning down. It's crazy, but they
seem to like the coach though, right? Like to me, they've shown in the last couple of weeks they're fighting for him.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the Waller Hill reference. What is it? 2017. Jeez.
Hey, Tyreek's still that dude, and apparently Darren Waller is too, from what we saw before he got hurt.
Apparently, well, okay, Tyreek Hill was that dude. I think his career's over. That knee injury was brutal. I can't.
Oh no, after the knee, and I'm just saying, coming into this year, I still think Tyreek was, the cheetah.
Oh yeah, dude, I wouldn't challenge him to a race now after he destroyed his knee. So, yeah, and really, honestly, running back wise, there isn't a whole lot else. Bhayshul Tuten's kind of worth a look.
Yeah,
but
we saw Etienne's the clear. The cheese. We saw that on Sunday again.
And if Etienne's 100%, he's going to get the majority of carries. Tuten was 7 carries for 17 yards. He had 1 target. So I'd stay off of him this week. But what I wouldn't stay off of, guys, is if you've got more questions, head over to our Discord channel. The link is in the show description below. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We are talking football of all kinds over there, and it's always free. So please make sure you head on over there. Again, the link is in the show description. Keith, we're going to move on to the wide receiver position for these week 13 waivers. This is ugly-ish. There are some decent options. Andre Yosavash. He's going to be a good option. Yoshi, he's going to be a good option this week. Mike Reedy would be so happy we're talking about him. With Jamar Chase back, but T. Higgins having suffered the concussion, and Burrow's back. And we know Burrow likes Yosavash. That's been very clear over the last 3 seasons. He's not my favorite ad, but he's definitely up there. Parker Washington. I think he's probably my favorite guy this week. He's floating right in that 30 to 40 to mid 50s rostership, depending on your platform. But we've seen him clearly take a lead role in this offense as a wide receiver. Brian Thomas Jr. is still hurt. I'm wondering if they're going to shut him down, quite honestly. I'm getting a weird vibe coming out of Jacksonville with that.
Be interesting because they definitely are in playoff contention. You know what I mean?
Yep.
To shut down a guy that, you would think it's just a messed up situation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I posted I think it was on Twitter. This is not Brian Thomas Jr. He is not the issue. I promise you. It is the fact that his quarterback is extremely inaccurate. And when you have a receiver like Thomas who is running the routes that he does, I've seen a lot of people be like, well, why is he dropping it all the time? It's because he's worried he's going to get killed. He took a couple of really big hits in preseason and also at the beginning of the regular season. And since then, he's like alligator arms. And all right, here it is. So Trevor's advanced accuracy, his pressure completion percentage, he ranks 34th out of quarterbacks. Play action completed percentage, 34th. Red zone completion percentage, 24th. Clean pocket completion percentage, 34th. Blitz completion percentage, 26. His true completion percentage, 32nd. Deep ball completion percentage, 32nd. He's just not accurate. And that is what somebody like Brian Thomas needs. It's why Mac Jones and him had an unbelievable connection. Mac Jones can't make nearly all the throws that Trevor Lawrence can make, but he's very accurate. And I just if I was a team, I would be going after BTJ so hard because the fan bases seem to kind of turn on him too. And man, I'm telling you, if I was one of those GMs out there and you have a quarterback that can get them the ball, I would be willing to give up a good bit to get BTJ.
Well, I've been saying this since last season. This is not a Brian Thomas Jr. problem. I still think he was the best wide receiver in that class last year.
Well, besides my boy Ladd, but yeah.
Yeah, Ladd was 2 years ago.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, no, that was.
Yeah, same class, right? Yeah.
Same class. He was my favorite wide receiver in that class. I love Ladd McConkey too. This isn't a skill issue with Brian Thomas Jr. This is an issue with the offense. This is an issue with Trevor Lawrence. Guys like Parker Washington seem to thrive in this offense, and that's fine.
I think it's the slot. Those are the shorter passes, right? Like the guy. It's just like Brenton Strange came back, immediately went bananas, right? Because they're not running routes down the field. T-Law is pretty accurate, short, which hopefully all quarterbacks in the NFL can throw it, at the line of scrimmage or just 5 yards past it. But
Milton can't.
That's why Washington. It's also why I understood why they got Jacoby Myers because again, I'm assuming he's going to start playing more and more in the slot, and they're going to use him sort of in the same manner. But this offense could be so good if Trevor could throw it better down the field. Because again, he's 34th in all those categories. In case you're not good at math, there's 32 NFL teams, so that means there's backups.
Who are better.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys like Jacoby Brissett. Marcus Mariota would be my guess. There are probably two that are definitely.
God forbid, maybe Kirk Cousins.
No. Okay, now we've gone too far. What was up with John Mechie, man?
That's the guy. That's the guy I'm thinking about going hard at this week in the league. I was talking about because. Don't look now. Wide receiver 18, wide receiver 11 the last 2 weeks. To me, it's even more impressive when you look at he did it with two different quarterbacks, right? Like he did it the first week with Justin Fields, second week with Tyrod. He caught over those games 9 of his 10 targets, 110 yards. He scored in both. Another defense that is just awful. So if he's going to get a lot of the volume, and look, A.D. Mitchell is right now getting more volume. He's gotten 13 targets the last 2 weeks, but I would think with how little Mitchell has been actually being effective with his targets to where, Mechie, on the other hand, very effective. Again, he's caught 9 of his 10 targets. I think you might see a swap in that, right? Because right now they're trying to figure out what this Jets passing game is going to be with Tyrod Taylor. And I think Mechie could end up being a guy averaging 5 to 8 targets rest of season. And I shouldn't say we all were. I was very high on John Mechie. I know a lot of other people were very high on John Mechie. I am man enough and secure enough in my Georgia Bulldogs to admit that he got banged up in the year that we won our first national title. I think if he wouldn't have got hurt in that first quarter of the national title game, I don't know if we would have won. I really don't. Like, that was a huge blow to them. And it's good just to see him out because, we wanted it to happen in Houston. It obviously didn't. But the fact that he's caught 9 passes on 10 targets with Justin Fields and Tyron Taylor, that's not nothing. Not exactly, the 2 greatest quarterbacks in the world.
Well, his snap share, man, we're above 80% the last 2 weeks. You can't ignore that at all. And we know the talent level of a guy like Mechie. Probably not the best system for him in Houston. His rookie season marred by, obviously, he had cancer, so that was a big thing to deal with. And even getting on the field that rookie season seemed impossible for him.
Yep.
So, yeah, I like Mechie a lot. I don't like A.D. Mitchell.
I don't either. I just want
to
mention him because of the volume, right? Like, because again, it's rare that you can find people off the waivers who he's gotten 13 targets the last 2 weeks, Mechie 10. Volume is volume. Don't you agree? Like, I mean, at this point, especially on the waivers, if you can get people that are going to get touches, it's worth at least considering. But that's why I had to include Mitchell. I was even shocked to see 13 targets the last 2 weeks. That's a ton.
It is a ton, but I'm not as impressed because he's got 3 catches.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, is I would assume that means Mechie's going to start getting even more volume, or maybe they really just want to see what they have with Mitchell, and they know they're losing anyway, and so they're going to continue to kind of force him the ball as well. Either way, I think that Mechie is worse to add, but if they end up, deciding, okay, we're going to throw it less to Mitchell and more to him, he could end up being, I don't know, top 30 receiver potentially the rest of the season.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm with you. I want nothing to do with A.D. Mitchell. I think he's a head case. There were character concerns about him coming into the league, and with the trade.
Anybody who leave UGA for Texas is obviously got issues.
Not right in the head. Obviously not right in the head. Tez Johnson too, man. Like, this is a kid who I thought that this was going to fade once they got Chris Godwin back. It's not fading. I think he's kind of cemented a role in this offense. I'm interested in him on the waiver wire.
Yeah, if he's out there, you should go get him for sure. Like that. I mean, now, hold on. Let me preference that. Let's find out what the Baker news is. If it looks like Baker might miss a game or two, I don't think I want anything to do with him. Because I begrudgingly put Teddy Bridgewater at the bottom of the QB list just because, if Baker misses time, you need a QB, 2 QB leagues, whatever. But I think the Teddy Bridgewater days are over. I can't believe he's still in the league, to be honest. Tez Johnson is very good.
Ball.
I did too, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Tez Johnson, Godwin is not going to be Godwin. I just don't believe that rest of the season. Like the Godwin that we remember, I think that ship sailed. Evans, we know, is not coming back, right? Is pretty much what they're saying now at this point. Yeah. And it looks like maybe even Jalen McMillan is not coming back now at this point. The Bucs are going to continue to play ball. So I think Tez Johnson, is going to, at worst, be their number 3 option. We've seen Cade Otton take a hit, kind of in the pecking order. So why not? Bucs are a team that's going to throw it a lot.
Yeah. Chimere Dike too. He's another one. You've got all those injuries in Tennessee. He's viable.
He needs to get some other weapons out there to help him, right? Like, because when they're missing the other pieces, I just think he had that great stretch when he was in the slot. Because what's his name's coming? A.O. Manor's coming back, right?
Yes.
So that's going to help a ton.
We've seen Xavier Restrepo start to get some work too.
Because he needs to be in the slot, being the little guy. And I just think that, when all those other dudes are out, defenses are going, okay, we're going to stop him. He's their best pass catching weapon. And that's not what he's made for. He's not made for like beating double teams and getting all this attention.
No, but he's performed.
He's really good. No, he's really good. 2 punt return
Jayden,
touchdowns. Like that's huge
dude,
in the same season.
If you get individual player kick return points, you have to go. Dike is not available in any of those leagues, though.
Yep.
Like, that would be absolutely insanity. Last wide receiver, Jayden Higgins over in Houston.
Oh, yeah.
He's seeing work. Like, to the point where you wonder, is this affecting Nico Collins? And I think it kind of is a little bit. He had 9 targets, 4 catches, 1 touchdown. He's got 4 touchdowns this season. He's a permanent part. I think he's the wide receiver 2 behind Nico Collins now.
Completely agree. Well, I think so, but Christian Kirk is also coming on in the terms of targets, and I know that Davis Mills, I think, had the highest QB rating of any quarterback last week when targeting freaking Christian Kirk. But I know in the short term it seems like it's bad for Nico. I think if this continues, like I say, CJ Stroud comes back and we get to see more of the Stroud that we saw his rookie year, it's going to be good for Collins because I think the Texans are really dangerous moving forward. They have that elite defense. Woody Marks and Chubb is like, now that they've kind of swapped the roles, I think that's at least a competent backfield that can make plays. And then, like I said, if they can get Stroud healthy, I'm getting where I really like these receivers because Higgins is coming on as a rookie. You got Kirk looks to be getting finally back to health after, his season-ending injury last year. And Nico Collins, I know the numbers have not been great for him this year, but that's more just about the passing offense in general in Houston. Nico Collins is still one of the best wide receivers in football.
Oh, he absolutely is. You're not going to get me to buy into Christian Kirk hype anything, though. No. It's not freaking happening. And dare I say, I like the passing side of this offense better with Davis Mills.
I mean, it's fair. I think it's nuts, but it's fair.
It is nuts, but I just do. Let's move on to tight ends. No more trash in CJ Stroud. I mean, I'm not trashing him. It's just one of those. It's a time and a place thing.
He's having a bad year.
Yeah, he's had a bad couple of years since they tanked their offensive line. All right, on to the tight end position here. We're going to start with Gunnar Helm in Tennessee. He's made Chico Okonkwo unrosterable. He's become quite the weapon for the rookie quarterback Cam Ward in Tennessee. And Brenton Strange is back. We talked about him a little bit earlier.
That's the guy I want.
Exactly. Immediately into volume. Immediately. Yep. Yeah.
Especially with BTJ out, he could end up being their leading targeter rest of the season. Seriously.
Oh, dude, very easily. 5 targets, 5 catches, 93 yards yesterday.
And he's like a mini Tucker Kraft in the sense that, what's great about him with what we were talking about with the issues with T-Law is Strange is a big yard after the catch guy. And they need that. That's what they need right now with the way Lawrence is completing passes down the field, which, I mean, not completing passes down the field.
Yep. Colby Parkinson. All of a sudden,
I can't trust any Rams, though, tight ends, man. It seems like one of them will become the, flash in the pan, and then 2 weeks later, they're not getting targets. So, I can't. I wish if there was a league where you're playing the tight ends for a team, sign me up. But otherwise, I just can't trust it.
He's caught all 6 of his targets the last 2 weeks.
He's good. All their tight ends, I think, are good. But they just, I think that's part of their scheme is – we're going to throw at Devontae and Puka a million times every game, and rightfully so. Right. But that means that the other options, we're going to sneak, we're going to mix it up on you week to week. And every time you think you kind of have an idea who our third target is, we'll kind of change it. Mike Gesicki's the guy for me that, especially if you need somebody this week, you need help this week, go get Gesicki. His stat lines in games that either T. Higgins or Jamar Chase is out have been incredible over the last 2 years. And we know, again, Higgins very unlikely to play Thursday with the concussion. So
he's already been ruled out.
Even better. So not for him, obviously. You know what I mean? You know that Gesicki is prime for a big game. If you are doing Thanksgiving Day slate DFS lineups, throw Gesicki in. I'm telling you, trust me, he will be utilized a lot. That has been something. Go look at his stretch. I think Higgins missed the last 5 or 6 games last season. Look, Gesicki had some monster games in that stretch, and the Ravens are really bad at covering tight ends as well.
Well, okay, so the last 2 weeks of last season, week 17 against Denver, week 18 against Pittsburgh, 12 targets and 10 targets in those 2 games. Yep. So, yes, I like him the most out of all the tight ends available.
I would rather have Strange rest of season, but I would I really like if you need somebody this week, I would go get Gesicki even over Strange. Like if you're having to play them, Strange is almost like a pick up and hold. You know what I'm saying? Like because maybe he could end up being if you don't have like a Bowers or a McBride or somebody, one of those top 10 tight ends rest of the season. He has that kind of upside.
Oh, he does. And again, we've got Indy in week 14, Indy in week 17, the Jets in week 15. Ooh. Tennessee in week 13 for Brenton Strange. So that's a really good schedule.
That is a really good schedule.
But this is I want to play him against Tennessee too. But Gesicki's going to be a volume hog this week.
And also Cincinnati we know is in nothing but shootouts because their defense sucks.
Oh, does it? Does it now?
It's not good.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not good. Bad. It's not good, folks. Any interest in adding Taysom Hill? Especially if Chimere misses extended time.
I put that on there. That's on me. I know everybody's over Taysom Hill. I am as well. I hate Saints. I'm a Falcons fan. But I'm just saying, if you are desperate, say it's Scott Fishbowl or something like that, if Kamara's going to miss any time, Hill is going to get volume. Hill will probably, and that's another reason I wasn't pumped about Devin Neal, probably will get the goal line carries. So it's just like he is somebody out there that could potentially get you 6 to 10 points. Because, if he falls in the end zone, that's 6.
Yeah. I'm over it too, but I'd go snag him. If Chimere misses extended time, he's worth an ad.
I agree.
All right. We're going to move on to kickers. We're going to get through these guys pretty quickly. I got 2 for you, Keith. The thicker kicker, Harrison Mevis over in Los Angeles.
I did not know what was going on with that until, I think, literally yesterday. Well done, social media people.
Yeah, no. Well, he's been the thicker kicker for a while. He's been very good, man. He's 6 foot, 245. He's actually bigger than me, which is saying something here. 13 fantasy points last week against Tampa Bay. He has been automatic since he joined. He's the Rams kicker. This is a team that scores a lot of points. He had a game with 6 extra points. Look, you're going to fall into points with this guy at kicker. He's a pretty simple ad. Then Kaime Fairbairn is back. I think he was a victim of, hey, he got hurt. We're going to mass drop him and let him sit on the waiver wire. Maybe we'll go back for him. Well, people probably found a kicker they're happy with. Here's the thing. Fairbairn's kicker 5, and he missed 2 games. And
what are the Saints doing? Can I ask you real quick about Justin Tucker? What are they doing? Why are they bringing him in to kick for the team? Even to have a tryout.
Tom Benson being Tom Benson, man. The Benson, it's the Saints are going to Saint, I guess.
God, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just, I thought about that because we're talking about kickers, and I just could not believe. I thought it was almost like a fake, Onion article or something. Because it said Saints, open. And I'm like, the Falcons have had kicking issues all year. We are a shitty pardon my French. We are a crappy franchise. And yet we didn't bring in, Tucker.
Bad teams stay bad.
We've been bad even longer than the Saints, so that's the sad thing, Lou. We've got a longer playoff drought than they do.
Well, but also your owner, Arthur Blank's a stand-up human being.
So he is. No, he's a great person. Yeah. Not a great football mind, but he's a great person.
Yeah. Fairbairn, though, he's just been automatic. He's kicker 5. He missed 2 weeks. Go at him if you need a kicker. Both of these guys are pretty much set it and forget it kickers rest of season. You're not going to have to do much else.
Fairbairn for sure. What'd you say? He's top 5? Yeah.
Yeah, he's kicker 5 and he missed 2 weeks. And he came in last week after missing 2 weeks and he nailed 4 kicks. He had 12 fantasy points. So, and then if you're streaming defenses, Miami Dolphins, this might sound crazy.
Thanks, Lou.
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong.
No,
Miami
Dolphins. I think that's fair.
The Miami Dolphins are a team I like this week. They're up against New Orleans. So, just, yeah.
Go ahead, take your shot
one.
against my Falcons for your reasoning. They're up against the Saints. You're like,
No.
Falcons dominated them. How good can they be?
The Falcons defense dominated them. But the Falcons, okay, but the next one on my list, Keith, is the Falcons.
Hey,
because I like the Falcons matchup this week. Look, Atlanta is up against the New York Jets. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the quarterback. The Jets are an absolute disaster. This feels like a baked-in 15 fantasy points to me for the Atlanta defense. I feel the same way about Miami. And then the Chicago Bears are the last one I want to talk about here. Their defense they've been really good. Like getting back to that Bears type
despite
defense.
like a litany of injuries too, they have battled some injuries.
Yep. They've got Philly this week. We're watching Philly kind of start to decline and slide. I really like this defense. Not just this week. The Bears are a defense I feel like you can add and run out the rest of the way. Honestly.
They got, I think, a really easy schedule. Or am I getting it mixed up and it's the other way around? So they play at Philly, at Green Bay, home for Cleveland, home for Green Bay, at San Francisco, home for Detroit. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, Philly's offense, if you can stop the run, I mean, actually, everybody seems to be able to stop Saquon Barkley. They seem to not be able to do anything. The Packers, like, I think they're terrible offensively. Like, they have not recovered from Tucker Kraft. And, I mean, in their defense, who would? When they have Jacobs, they can, at least control the ball. And I know Wilson looked really good on Sunday, but I feel like so much of that game was just that everybody in the building knew the Vikings weren't going to score 10 points. And it makes it a lot easier to score. Did you see, too, that his QBR or his passer rating, one of the two, since, I think, 1990 in rookie seasons, only Jamarcus Russell's is worse.
Since 2000. It's his EPA. Oh, it's bad.
I just can't believe you let Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, who were both in the building last year at the end of the year, leave because they had to know somewhat what they had. They had
to. But I think they also thought that they had a lot more in McCarthy, but they don't. Which, as a known Michigan hater.
Well, that's what I mean is like I can't believe that there wasn't signs beforehand. I know he had not played, but I'm saying that even just in practices and stuff, as good as, especially with Kevin O'Connell as a quarterback, that's to me the most concerning part is Kevin O'Connell has rose so many quarterbacks above a level we've ever seen them play. Nick Mullins, for God's sakes, had like 700 yards over 2 games last year. And you have Justin Jefferson, who made yet again, I don't know if it got a lot of play because it was an ugly game, but a sideline catch that was just absolutely ridiculous. And yet still the dude is struggling so bad. Like it feels like a bust already. And what sucks is that I feel like that's a team that's ready to compete right now if they have a quarterback. I mean, obviously you look at last year and the year before, they've proven that. And they have, like, I think the best defensive coordinator in football, Brian Flores. I think Kevin O'Connell is one of the best offensive minds in football. And it's all been washed down the drain by a bad decision, honestly, by the front office.
Yeah, don't draft a quarterback who won a national championship handing the ball off to Blake Corum. That's all. All right, we got a couple of questions here, Keith, before we get everyone out of here and on to Monday Night Football. Bronco 123-13425. That was a lot to say here. Over on Twitch, Rome Odunze or Breece Hall rest of season. I'm assuming this is more of a flex-centered question. I'm gonna choose to believe in Rome Odunze. I don't necessarily believe in Breece Hall that much because it's the Jets.
I mean, it's fair, but I'm going to actually go the opposite. I am going to go Breece Hall. I think Tyrod Taylor at least makes defenses have to sit back a little bit further than what they have been with Justin Fields, who was very inaccurate this season on balls traveling 10 or 20 yards or more. And It is concerning me that Odunze was playing a top 5 man rate defense in Pittsburgh, who was allowing the most fantasy points and targets to wide receiver ones, and they looked elsewhere. They looked at, Loveland a ton. They looked at Burden. I think Odunze is a good player. It doesn't look like they view him as like their Drake London, right? Where they're just we're going to make sure we get him the ball and then everybody else kind of figure it out. It's starting to look like it is actually Loveland who Caleb feels most comfortable with and is starting to sort of corral the most targets.
That's not wholly surprising. I hear what you're saying. I'm still gonna go Rome just because he had 9 targets. We've had one real bad game where he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't, and it's not even about the quarterback position for me with the Jets. It's just about it being the Jets organization in general. We've got Galaxy Pickers on YouTube. He wants to know if he should trade Drake London and Quinshon Judkins to get Bijan Robinson and Jalen Waddle back. Keith, I see you shaking your head. I'm already with you. No. Look, I'm not going to tell you to move Quinshon Judkins in any world. What's going on in Atlanta is bad news for every single fantasy asset there, and that includes Bijan Robinson. And while I love him, I'm not moving to acquire him because the cost is prohibitive to me now based on what his range of outcomes are in this Atlanta offense.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry, that was kind of dismissive to whoever asked the question, like the way I was shaking my head. But I don't know if you were listening when we went over the Browns' schedule coming up. They have one of the easiest running back schedules I've ever seen over their next 6 weeks. They have all of one bad matchup against the run. And then in a vacuum, it's going to be harsh. Bijan is just not made for the situation we're in right now. Bijan needs everything to be working well. Bijan does kind of need a quarterback to be explosive Bijan because he doesn't break a ton of tackles. He's not somebody that you get stuffed at the line a lot. It's very similar to Jahmyr Gibbs. If you notice in the games that the Lions really struggle throwing the ball, those are also the games that Jahmyr Gibbs typically doesn't have any running room because they need to bust those big runs. And the easiest way to do that is to not have a bunch of people in the box because the more people in the box, more likely somebody gets their hand on them, right? And then again, the Judkins thing, he is about to face San Francisco, Tennessee, Chicago, Buffalo as next 4. All 4 of those are ranked 22nd or worse. And then in Cincy, who's in the 30s. So that's 5 of his last 6 games. And then Drake London, I mean, I know that it's not sexy, people, because we're the Falcons and whatever, but this is Drake London since he got healthy week 4. Scored 25 points, 10 targets, 8 receptions, wide receiver 5. Scored 31 points, 16 targets, 10 receptions, wide receiver 1. He had a bad game versus San Francisco. He was wide receiver 39. His last 3 weeks, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 1. For you that can't count at home, that is 4 of his last 5 games. He has been wide receiver 1. And this thought that Kirk Cousins is actually a downgrade, he will not have the explosive plays that he had before. But I'm telling you, he's going to get peppered from Cousins because Cousins does know how to throw the ball high to different locations where London can use his body and his physicality to get the ball. I think London has a chance to be wide receiver 1 rest of the season. And the thing is I know some people have said, well, they've got tough matchups coming up. Technically on paper, that's right. But New England was, I think, 2nd versus wide receivers going into that week. And Drake London went out, had 13 targets, caught 10 passes, 3 touchdowns, and was wide receiver 1, scored 38 points. So, I just think he's that guy at this point, and he doesn't have to fight with other people for targets. That's the best part. And the one guy we thought he might, Kyle Pitts, had 3 drops on Sunday. So I don't think Cousins is going to be peppering the ball to him. So I would hold pat. I like both your receiver better, and I don't think there's as big of a disparity at your running back as you think there are when you look at the matchups of the two players.
Yep. Nope, I'm 100% with you, Lou. Keith. Oh, man.
I look like a Lou.
You do. You could be a Lou. You don't look like the Lou. You guys look completely different. But here we are. All right, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to get you out of here. It's time to go set those waiver claims. If you are listening to this show,
who you got in the game tonight, real quick?
Who do I got tonight?
I'm San Francisco steamrolls, or
no? I think Carolina upset San Francisco.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I think San Francisco is going to win. I do think it might be close. But man, I'm gonna call you Nostradamus if Carolina wins this game, because not too many people are giving them credit. So I respect the ability to go on a limb there too. A man of his own morals, or what is it? Not morals. What am I looking for? Conviction.
Conviction. There we go. I'm nuts. I don't know. Carolina. I think Carolina's played a lot better than we're giving them credit for. Because
Carolina's a good football team.
Yeah, I think they are a good football team, and I think they can win. San Francisco is so banged up, man. I
only need Kittle to score 34 points and a tight end premium league to get the comeback victory. Oh, dear sweet baby Jesus.
So I need 16 points. We have a neighborhood league. Someone was put flyers on our door.
We're just the people that live in your neighborhood?
Yeah, so we live in it's a planned community of about, I think there's like 6,000 houses here. Well, somebody flyered all of the doors.
About the fantasy league?
Like, hey, we're doing a fantasy league if you'd like to join.
Did he know what you did before then?
No.
That's so
They had no idea. They just put it on our door. So, yeah, we're in this league. And, dude, my start was rough. It was so incredibly rough. I was 0-6 to start the season. And I'm like embarrassed. I'm like, man, we did a live draft with all these people. Like, we told them what we do for a living. We gave them stickers and stuff. And I walk into
Does Jen have a team too, or do y'all kind of
yes.
She does.
She's got it.
How's her team doing?
We're both 5-6.
Okay, but you're both in playoff contention, right? I'm assuming.
Oh my God, yes, yeah. I've won 5
leagues. 500 is like the norm. There's not, to me at least, there's not a lot of leagues I'm in where teams are at like 10-2, and it's a lot of people kind of in that 7 to 4 win range. It seems like.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. Which I'm hoping I make the playoffs. But I need 14 points out of Rico Dowdle tonight to win.
Standard or PPR?
PPR. So
I like 14 it. I like.
I think I do too. He's projected for 18, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that. Thanks, and what's the winning team get in the neighborhood one?
Trophy and neighborhood pride, I guess. So we'll see.
Right. Y'all should get like a banner or something made. You know how they have like the yard of the month? I don't know if y'all have those, but what they do in the South a lot of times in these bigger neighborhoods, and it would be like, fantasy football champion of the year.
Get a blow up trophy. That's what we should do. Put one of those inflatable trophy in the front yard.
I want the inflatable wave.
Woo. We'll see how it goes. I'm just hoping just 14 points from Dowdle tonight. And guys, I hope you get what you need tonight as well. On that note, we're going to let you get out of here. Make sure you head over to Discord if you've got any more questions. If you're listening to the audio version and you can't drop those questions here, we're happy to answer them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Check out tools.optimusfantasy.com. Get 2 free weeks with the code ThanksOptimus. And with that, while Keith plays with Nico, we're going to get the heck out of here. All right, folks. Have a great night. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Get those waiver claims set, and we'll see you next week.